Welcome back, everyone. We got another Warp World episode for you of 1-1 Podcast. We're going to be covering the Sony press conference. With me, as always, is my co-host, Eddie, the Chocolate Wonder with Thunder from Down Under. So, jumping straight into it, Sony put together a heck of a show this year. I was thoroughly pleased. Eddie, you want to lead us off?
Yes. So before we get to the press conference, they did show some other games, but we didn't add them on. I did catch though that Undertale, which is a huge game, is coming to PS4 and Vita. So Sony remembers Vita. That surprised me. No date for it just yet or price, but you can find that information online. But the actual show, they started out playing some Egyptian style music and had sand design falling in the back. And it was like, huh? And
Let me just say, I was very disappointed it was not Prince of Persia.
I thought it was Assassin's Creed Origins.
Now it's a state?
Origins. Origins. Did I say Oregon? No,
I'd play that. Assassin's Creed Oregon.
Shoot, it needs to be in it.
Ezio has died of dysentery.
Right. I love it. Yes. But I thought it was the new Assassin's Creed game. Couldn't find out it's actually Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. They showed a little bit more of that. They actually showed the villain. Ooh, he looked at. Yes. But that's for me. Larry, any thoughts?
This is another one that we talked about earlier. That where we're seeing these side stories, these standalone stories built off of existing engines, off of existing assets that are coming in at that $30-$40 price tag. Uncharted is just one of those that I've just not gotten to play because I haven't picked up a Sony system since the PS2. Okay. So I can't speak to it that much.
It looks interesting. I'm going to pick it up. I have all the Uncharted games, and people know my feelings about that and my commentary. But this one looks promising, so I'm going to pick it up. Moving on, Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, The Frozen Wild, is coming later on, sometime in 2017. It's more Horizon. Looks really good. Don't know what the full story about the game is. I hope that it's around. I feel like it's going to probably be like $15, hopefully so. How long it's going to be and what they're going to offer new, we probably won't know until the PlayStation Experience. They only just showed a small trailer of it.
I will say, I think Frozen Wilds looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they moved on to a full
Not even an eye roll for that? Really? I'm disappointed in you.
Look, Breath of the Wild over Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Frozen Wilds looks so cool, Eddie. So cool.
I hear enough anything with Frozen in the title. I hear enough of the stupid music. I sell enough of the toys. We're going to move on to Days Gone. They showed a long gameplay of this. I was just like, oh, someone just looked at the bike and now knows where to go to find his partner. That was weird. So, okay, we'll go with that.
I don't care. It's more zombie game that's not Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. So, someone wrote there's like, yes, they took the idea of hiding in the trees from Horizon because he was so hiding in the bushes and stuff. So, yeah, that was Days Gone. Still no date about that. Monster Hunter World is coming early 2018. It's also coming out for Xbox One. We just found that out, and later on in PC. I good on Capcom. This is money making for Capcom. Even though that Switch is getting Monster Hunter XX, and the 3DS is getting Monster Hunter Stories for 3DS here in America. So Nintendo's getting two products, Xbox and Sony is getting. I think this is the first Monster Hunter in the U.S. for those systems. I don't remember earlier a different Monster Hunter coming for Sony's platform here in America.
Yeah, not that I can think of. I am really curious to see how Monster Hunter translates into a story-driven single-player game for something that is traditionally, all about the multiplayer, that kind of Phantasy
Mm.
Star Online feel.
And it looked very dull with it being so brown and earth tony. I'm like, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I watched it and I thought it looked pretty. I liked it.
Oh, it looks pretty. I was just like, I wish they just had some different areas that show variety of color in the game. I do like his sword, that bone sword. That was really
Yeah.
nice. I was just like, yeah, I want that. Um, so Shadow of the Colossus is getting a completely remake. It's coming in 2018. Studio Japan. I kind of just like, okay, everybody, shut up. Studio Japan is releasing something, and I was just like, okay, that's the Colossus, and then it was just like Shadow of the Colossus. I'm like, is this a remake? And I get, well,
It
yeah,
looks to be. They didn't really say much on it, but it looks like a full-blown remake, not just a remaster like what we got on the PS3.
yes.
Uh, this looks stunning. Um, I will say, when I saw that broken bridge, I was really, really hoping to go back to that world after the events of Shadow of the Colossus.
Mm, okay. Well, next,
But I'll still jump on board. I'll still play the fuck out of this.
mm, I I I don't own it. I need to buy it. But I think I'm gonna pick up this remaster to give it a play. Uh, Next up, it was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's coming to September 19th. Right now, while you guys are listening to this, you can download the story demo. Right now, I haven't downloaded it just yet, but I will by the time you guys hear this, and I will give you guys a rundown of what I played or what they're showing. Um, People are kind of trolling it right now because they're showing. I guess there was something about the game that people are not liking, and they're posting the Dragon Ball Fighter Z. They're like posting memes about that now. So, thoughts, Larry, on Marvel MVCI?
This is not what I expect when I hear Marvel vs. Capcom. Uh, I'm not complaining. It's just not what I expect.
Exactly.
This certainly has grabbed my attention. I am certainly interested in in a story centric game where the Marvel characters and the Capcom characters don't just go toe to toe, but are actually working together and bantering and talking, and it's fucking funny.
Hmm. Well, I know I'm picking up the game because our West Coast correspondent Tony Zilakakis, I owe him a battle. Because we really got to get down with some MVC 2 and MVC 3. Definitely 2 we have to get into. Moving on for that, Call of Duty World War II is coming out November 3rd.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's I don't even know what to say.
We're going to move on then. They got into the VR portion of the show. So Skyrim VR, we talked about already. Star Child VR. I'm going to say this about Star Child. I'm getting a good feel of Metroidvania in this game.
I'm not.
I'm getting it because it feels like it's a 2D game, and it looks like a venture. So I don't know if I'm fighting stuff. I don't know if it's level based or everything's connected. But I don't know. I was just looking at it, and I just got a Metroid feel to it. I didn't get like a runner or a regular 2D platform style game. I just didn't feel that. It was just something about it that just screamed like this is a Metroid style game.
I don't know. I saw that giant robot at the end of their their demo of that, and I was just reminded of the final boss from Splosion Man. But no, it looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. My problem is, why the hell did you make a 2D platformer a VR game? What the fuck was the point of that?
That was confusing. That bit was confusing.
This just makes no sense to me.
Well, the Impatient VR seems like it's kind of a suspense horror kind of game. I'm getting Shutter Island vibes from it.
A little bit of that psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean it looks interesting. Um, I wish Sony would stop. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being cynical, but I wish Sony would just give it up with the VR thing. But they seem determined to double down on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which really what they should have doubled down on was the fucking Vita.
Yeah.
But that's a dead horse at this point. But at the very least, it looks like they're bringing finally some bigger experiences to PSVR. Further trying to justify its existence, which it's needed that if they're really going to make it a legitimate push,
Mm-hmm.
then it needs more like this.
Yes. Um, this is the one that you're going to probably really make fun of. Monster of the Deep is coming out 2017. It's the VR portion of Final Fantasy 15. You had some comments about this game on Twitter.
Extreme camping simulator.
And I was just like, exactly. So you can watch the trailer if you want to, if you enjoy that. I'm like, whatever. Bravo
You can
Team.
cook out and you can fish and you can drink beer in virtual reality, guys. You can get virtual drunk on your virtual booze.
Bravo Team VR. I really thought it was SOCOM, but it's not, and I'm disappointed. So, thoughts?
I'm with you. It didn't have the SOCOM look to me, but God, Sony, bring back SOCOM. No, all I could think looking at it is, yep, this is what a shooter looks like in virtual reality. Okay.
Yeah.
It just looked bland to me.
And well, I think this was probably the best game out of the whole Show Me. Moss. It's by Polyarc. They didn't have no date for it. I enjoyed the music. I kind of like the mouse. I like Moss. It got kind of a little bit cliched at the end with the snake coming out. But I was digging this game. I was digging this platformer.
This I watched it. I'm like, this is cute. I like it. I'm interested. We have an adventurous little mouse. And you know what I kept thinking? I kept thinking Redwall. I'm like, man, this could be cool if this is fucking Redwall.
I've never heard of Redwall.
It's an old book series. Check it out. Go find one, read the first one, and get back to me. You'd be like, yeah, Moss totally should have been Redwall.
Okay. Moving on, they show God of War. That's coming early 2018. I kind of like the shot where it showed the little vase with Kratos with his blades, and he's looking like someone was really being shady to Kratos. I guess the axe that he used is his main weapon. And I'm sorry to say this, but if the boy dies to give Kratos his full abilities back, I'm in. I mean, it's God of War. It looks good, but I really wasn't impressed. I'm just like, yeah. Thoughts?
I got several on this actually. I think finally we saw more of this that looked like the traditional kind of God of War set piece combat, in conjunction with some of that more over the shoulder exploratory third person action as well. I'll be curious to see how those two blend. Um, I am really genuinely interested. Like, I was so thoroughly invested in Kratos' story. I am really interested to see how Kratos as a character evolves as a father, as somebody struggling to come to terms with his humanity, and um, and not necessarily atone for, but just kind of come to terms with what he did through the events of the original trilogy, um, and see how it ties together and how it shapes his relationship with his son. Side note: what the hell is this child's name? All he's been called so far is boy.
Um, yeah. I don't know. It's the thing with me. It's just like you're getting given a second chance to raise somebody because you lost your daughter now, but you gained a son, and it just feels like you are still angry and upset, and it's just like, is that your motivation for you to do what you do? And like, I don't know. It's confusing to me for right now.
No,
But yeah.
it's understandable that Kratos is a default angry character. I mean, this is a guy who's been through and a guy who's lost a lot.
Hmm.
You know, he's lost a wife and child. He's lost, his son's mother. This is a guy who's experienced, a life of Greek tragedy. You know, that kind of shit takes a toll on somebody and their personality.
And I don't know. It looks impressive. I'll pick it up because I own the other games. Uh, yeah, that's me. Detroit Become Human. They showed a little bit more of that.
They
Still,
showed a lot more of that.
I have to rewatch it because my stream froze and got fuzzy, and I couldn't see how the whole thing went. So I'm gonna go back and watch it. But this is definitely a game that I'm buying. This is a must buy for me. Ever since they showed the first Detroit Become Human, I was just like, "Yep, I want this." This is giving me Snatcher vibes. This is giving me uh, um, the game that we talked about last time from that movie. Blade Runner. Yeah, it's giving me that. It's giving me that ride, that vibe. Uh, yeah, I want this game.
Yeah, no, Detroit Becomes Human still looks fantastic. I'm trying to reconcile in my head how we got from the trailer last year to the trailer this year. I'm trying to figure out how they piece together, or do they? Is what we saw last year scrapped and out the window? But no, I am 100% into this. Um, the whole artificial intelligence uprising thing has piqued my interest. This looks like solid, good hardcore sci-fi writing, and I am absolutely on board with this.
Yes.
I am curious to see if you can totally make it through this game playing pacifist and talking your way through this this revolution.
Yeah. So, Destiny 2 is coming out September 16th. Just found out the beta is going to be available July 18th. So you guys will be able to play that. I'm going to
That
try
is
to.
the pre-order beta. You've got the open beta for Xbox One and PS4 coming just a few days behind that as well.
Okay. I'm going to actually get it on both systems because I do want to try it out with different people and see how they run, just to compare and stuff. Last but not least, because I don't know if you have any idea, any thoughts on Destiny 2.
Not really, but again, that just falls into the fact that Destiny's not my thing.
Okay. Last but not least, Spider-Man 2018. That's what they used to close out the show. And I might get yelled at about this, but this is like Batman Arkham games and Metroid Other M put together in this combat.
I don't know. I kind of got some feels of Uncharted in there,
Hmm.
which is not all
Yes.
that surprising. Um, it. I like the fact that this looks like it is more of a longer story driven narrative rather than the open world lame sauce that has been the last handful of Spider-Man games.
Yes.
Um, where it felt very wash, rinse, repeat. Oh, there's a guy doing a carjacking on the other side of the city. Go there and stop him. This looks like it has some great set pieces. It looks like they're really digging into some characters and building up their story, their personalities. We saw Mr. Negative in the trailer here as the leader of a clan or a gang moving in on Kingpin's territory, and you saw Spider-Man getting kind of mouthy with Kingpin while he's in prison there. Um, I'm I'm curious. Kingpin to me has always been a fascinating villain, anyways. So this is something I'm totally in for.
Yeah, I'm down for that. So that was the Sony press conference. My thoughts about the Spider-Man game, that it looks good. Very impressed. Insomniac always make very good games. They're very talented as a company, as a developer. But yeah, that's what the Sony show was. I, for me personally, I feel like Microsoft and Sony like tied together. So yeah, once again, it's another 4 out of 5 Yoshi coins for me. And I gotta say, like Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, and Ubisoft, very impressive showings. Like really on point with showing games and stuff. Yeah, a little bit talkative for Microsoft and Ubisoft, but everybody's been on point. All 4 of those conferences were better than whatever EA did. I'm sorry. Anthem was good, but that was better in Microsoft show conference.
Yeah, EA definitely presented the weak showing here out of everybody.
Yeah. So, and tomorrow we'll be checking out Nintendo, so you guys will be getting some updates for that one. They are going to be doing like a showcase, and then they're going to be doing some games and announcements throughout the week. So we'll let you guys know how that's going to go all about. You can hear more at shoutengine.com. Follow us on Twitter at world1_1podcast. And you can email the show at at world101podcast at gmail.com. Sorry, I was thinking about a different podcast. I won't say.
Yeah, that's it, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow with all the Nintendo coverage for their what we're being told is a 25-minute spotlight showcase. That's what we're going to be covering on the next Warp World episode, and then on Monday when we do our regular show, we'll be back with full E3 roundup coverage, including anything that came out of the subsequent Treehouse live stream as well.
Yes. So, with that, everybody, have a great night. Have a great day whenever you hear this podcast. And we'll see you guys next time on World 101 Podcast for Nintendo's press conference or showcase. And with that, everybody, we are out. Bye.
Peace.